Hey, what's happening, folks? Chris Doris here, the mental coach. I'm recording this based on request. I take requests. A longtime follower of the Daily Dose, as well as the blogs and the podcast Tough Talks, Mary. Mary Westheimer. Just a beautiful soul. Thank you, Mary, for your inquiry last night. Mary messaged me asking for the link to the short video that I created, during which I explain the meaning of this, the OLine, living above the OLine, getting above the OLine, what the OLine even means. So I looked for it, and lo and behold, there isn't one. There are several many videos on my YouTube page and in my blog archive, but not a brief one. So here's a brief one. So let's start with this. The reason that I've chosen the vocation that I've chosen is because I truly believe, I am convinced, that the vast majority of us spend so much time in unnecessarily low-grade states. We have been conditioned to settle, struggle, and way worse, suffer. And I think that's all unnecessary. Totally unnecessarily. So we've learned to do it. So that is why I've chosen the vocation. Now here is a really great tool that I've come up with in the last several years that creates a new construct, right? That gives us an opportunity to free ourselves from the conditioning of our past that would have us unnecessarily struggle and suffer. So all day long, we are interpreting reality. All day, whether we know it or not. And we're doing it in one of three ways. Low grade, neutral, that's a null symbol for null, which we'll use as neutral, or high grade. In other words, this sucks, I don't care, this is awesome. In some variation. We'll just leave it in those three buckets for simplicity's sake. It's like uncool, and cool, right? So, but no one's right with their interpretations. They're just interpretations. So no one's right or wrong. They're just interpretations. And we get to interpret all of reality however we choose, but because of the nature of the conditioning of our past, we don't exercise that choice. We are taught how to respond in certain circumstances. We rehearse it, we practice the hell out of it, and then we get really, really good at that, and it becomes automatic. For example, like getting a flat tire. We're automatically frustrated about that. But we don't need to be, because it's not a bad thing. There's a million mantras for this stuff. One is, ain't bad, just is. Nothing good or bad happens until you think it's so. That's William Shakespeare. Nothing good or bad happens until you think it's so. So everything just is. Now, this is the O-line. Okay, this is the O stands for observation, right? It's one of the three ways that we interpret reality, right? We observe it. The observation line. That's what the O line stands for. So here's an example. So let's take tennis, okay? So we'll say that Roger Federer is playing against Rafael Nadal in the U.S. Open in Flushing Meadows, New York. And Feds, he aces Rafa. So Feds is pumped, right? Because he just got a point. It was a badass serve, right? He smoked him. And Rafa's pissed because he just got smoked. And then the umpire, who's sitting in the chair, right, couldn't give a damn. It's their job to be neutral. So there was one event, a serve on a tennis court. Three completely distinct interpretations. Who's right? Nobody. No one. They're just options. Right, and we have these options available to us at all times. So there's times. People say, so I should, like, someone asked me one time in a workshop, so I get a flat tire and I'm supposed to be happy? And I said, no, you're not supposed to be anything. You can be whatever you want, but you won't be, because you've learned that that's just a bad thing and automatically go straight to frustration, unless you free yourself up from that with the practice. Right? Now, all of human peak performance research indicates that the better we feel, the higher our level of emotions, the higher grade states we are choosing to think our way into, the better we are. but only at everything. Oh, and only always. Saying, I'm not here to tell you that you should feel anything under any circumstance. I'm here to remind you that you can feel whatever you want, whenever you want. So the three interpretations are low grade. This is no bueno. Observation or neutral interpretation, which is isness. Black marker is, I ain't pumped, I ain't pissed, just is. Or high grade state. I love these. That's a high grade state. I love that I have these whiteboards and I can erase this stuff, and it's amazing. What incredible technology. Or like, why does it smell so bad? It's so annoying. Why do these things have to stink? I can have any of them. Okay, so the practice is to catch yourself when you're feeling uncool. Okay? You know what? Let's back it up a step. The practice is actually to start to systematically eliminate the amount of time that I'm unnecessarily, which is, by the way, spoiler alert, 100% of the time that I'm spending below the O-line feeling horrible. Now, let me add this. I love sadness. Sadness is up here to me. Suffering, down there. Big difference, right? Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional, right? Huge difference. So, and we spend so much unnecessary time below the O-line, just saying, oh, this sucks. Oh, why won't that person turn left? I'm not going to make the light. You know, my refrigerator breaks. Just think about all the things you complain about regularly throughout the day. It's a lot. If certain scientists are accurate, we complain once every 11 seconds on average. Yep, you heard it. So the good news there is we have a lot of opportunity to get in the repetitions of what I'm suggesting we practice, which is to catch, own, and replace. I'm going to just abbreviate that by saying catch, C-O-R. That's the practice. We're catching ourselves when we're below the O-line, unnecessarily feeling uncool. We're owning it by saying, I'm not frustrated by what's going on. I'm not frustrated because of the flat tire. I'm not frustrated because my refrigerator broke. I'm not frustrated because of whatever this person didn't deliver, you know, the report that they said. I'm not frustrated because my friend's late. I'm not frustrated. All the different things that I complain about throughout the day. And I'm just picking some pretty like insignificant events because that's where we want to start. We don't want to start practicing this with the biggest life challenges. That's not, you don't like when you're learning to swim, you don't learn in the English Channel in the winter during a storm. Okay? Like we start when you learn to swim, you learn in the warm, shallow end of a pool with floaties and a lifeguard. So like we learn under the circumstances where we're going to learn fastest and most deeply, right? And not get discouraged. So let's begin with all the hundreds of useless problems that we manufacture in our minds with reality every day, right? Let's start with all of them. Catch them. Catch as many of them as you can. Own them by saying, I'm not feeling frustrated because my pens keep running out of ink all at the same time. I'm not feeling frustrated because, you know, I forgot to get coffee. I'm not feeling frustrated for whatever. I'm not frustrated because I just bit my cheek. I'm frustrated because of how I'm thinking about it right now or how I'm interpreting it. Isn't it interesting that this whole thing looks like a big letter I, so it could stand for the range of possible interpretations? And again, an observation is a neutral interpretation, just isness. Happens to be blue sky again here in Arizona. Is. I mean, I wish that, why can't there be more clouds? Like having clouds and some precipitation every once in a while wouldn't kill you. That's a low grade interpretation. Man, I gotta tell you, I love the blue skies. I love the blue skies in Arizona. Mm-hmm. Huge Arizona skies. So good. Almost every day of the year, get to get all this beautiful sunlight. High grade interpretation. All three equally available to us, right? So that's the replace. Catch yourself when you're having a low grade interpretation, feeling bad. That's the way. That's it. That's the barometer. That's the alarm when you're feeling uncool, when you're feeling unpleasant. That's what the beginning of all this mental mastery is predicated upon, your ability to self-inquire and to even notice when you're feeling unpleasant. All right? And then own it by saying, I'm not feeling upset because of what's going on here. I'm feeling upset because of how I'm thinking about it. And then you replace your thought Upgrade your interpretation. That takes practice, like all of this does, of course. Anything valuable takes practice. And whatever you practice, you'll get great at. So practice replacing your interpretation. Let's go with the traffic, right? It's a popular thing to mindlessly join into groupthink and having a problem with. It's just a bunch of cars, people in cars in a congested area going places, going slow because they're all right up against each other. That's all that is. Where's the problem with that? Oh, well, I'm going to be late. Oh, now there's your story. That's your interpretation. Yeah, but I am going to be late. That's a problem. That's your interpretation. Catch it, own it by saying, I'm not frustrated because of traffic. I'm frustrated because of the way I'm thinking about it right now. Let's get in a repetition. Let's get stronger. Let's rewire my mind. Let's literally reprogram my neural network so my default response to reality is at worst curiosity and at best enthusiasm. And think to yourself, actually, I'm pretty grateful. Gratitude, by the way, is always a perfect default response or state to go to. I'm so grateful that I have a lifestyle that permits me to even drive a car that once in a while is in traffic. I'm thankful for this beautiful air conditioning in this car of mine and the sound system so I can listen to the Dan Patrick Show and enjoy myself. Or that I can use my cell phone. Oh, I have a cell phone that permits me to I can even do some work while I'm in this traffic and have it be productive and feel great about that. So those are the reps. Those are the reps. You're working towards reducing the amount of time that you spend below the O-line. Visualize this. And we'll wrap it up with this. Visualize having done all this work so that your lowest grade interpretation of anything that happens is, like you're, come out of the mall, your car is stolen. How fascinating. I didn't see that coming. I wonder what I'll create out of this. Imagine, visualize this. Visualize you living above the O-line. Create miracles.